Hello and good evening. How are you? Oh boy. So Facebook changed a little bit here. I finally figured it out on how to go live. When you push the go live button, it doesn't do anything anymore. You have to push the 3 lines and then go live. So crazy, but we figured it out, so that's good. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. It is a gorgeous day here in Michigan. It got up to 84, I think. And the sun is setting. It's still got a ways to go, but it is beautiful. So I'm just getting my comments up here, and it looks like it's ready to go. Yay. Yay. So, what did you do on this gorgeous fall day? I think we have one more day of this, and then it's turning cold and wet. So, I am enjoying every minute of it while I can. So, if you're new to this page or new to this series, I've had two classes with this so far, and I called it Stampin' Basics 101, but I am renaming it. I'm calling it Card Making 101, because a lot of what we will do and what I will teach deals with cards at first. So that's what we're going to call it now, Card Making 101. And it's every Tuesday night. It's usually at 7, but tonight I had to change it. I had to back it up to 6:30. My daughter's home from Kentucky, and we are having a special dinner tonight after my live, and we're going to celebrate her. So I had to move it up a little bit. So sorry for the late notice, and I hope you'll, if you don't catch it live, that you'll watch the replay. All right, so I'm going to talk a little bit tonight about the paper trimmer again, because there's still more to learn about it. And I'm going to show you something about the Stampin' Seal. And then I'm even going to show you a card. So the card is you might look at it and say, oh my gosh, Arlene, I thought this was Stampin' Basics 101 or Card Making 101. That card's a little over the top. You wait. It is so simple, but the beauty of it just packs a punch. So we'll do that as well. So I'm going to before I point you to my work surface, I want to tell you one thing, and one more thing. Stampin' Up! Is celebrating their 35th anniversary, and in celebration, they are offering the starter kit for this month, starting today through the end of the month, the 31st. You can purchase the starter kit for 35% off. So it's normally $99 and you get $125 worth of product. You will get that for 35% off. Wait a minute, I do have the total for that. Let me see here. I can put my finger right on it. So 35% off the price of the starter kit works out to $64.35. If you're thinking about putting in a $50 order or $60 order, you might think about getting the starter kit, because you can multiply the amount of product you have by 51%. It's a big deal. So if you don't want that option, there is a second option, and you can get the starter kit for $99, the regular price, with 35% more product, which works out to be $168.75 worth of product, which happens to be 59% more product for those of you who like to do math and you accountants out there. So now is a great time to get your hands on that starter kit. And you might say, Arlena, I don't really craft, but I love stamping. Well, this is the time to get it, because you can get your tools, you can get your paper trimmer, your snips, your adhesive, your blocks, your inks, whatever you don't have, you can start with. If you have a few supplies, this will just add to it. The other thing is, with this promotion, you will be invited by Stampin' Up! To a Stampin' Up! Event, which is called On Stage at Home. It's a virtual event in November, and you can attend for free. Isn't that cool? So, yes, you will want to take advantage of that as well. So I would love for you to join my team. And I hate to call it a team because we're more of like a little tribe, a little community here. And we love to encourage others with cards, sending cards, making cards. I love having classes. I love teaching people new things. I had just posted this last weekend of a friend who made one of my Christmas card kits, and he just loved it. He was so excited, and I had to take his picture, and I did have permission to post it, so that was good. So think about that if you're at all interested. The other thing with the starter kit, you get 20% off anything you purchase from that point forward, as long as you stay active. So 20% off is a pretty good savings. And then if that's not good enough, you can have your friends put in orders, and family members, and yourself. And if you reach $900 in sales in the first 3 months, you will get $50 free in product from Stampin' Up! Another big deal. So it's all something you will want to consider, because it won't last forever, and I don't know that it will be around again for a long time. You know, you only have your 35th anniversary one time. So let me point you to my work surface. I'm going to try to get you in the camera really good. And I want to show the paper trimmer. So this looks familiar, right? We've got the cutting blade, the scoring blade. The cutting blade is the dark one, and the scoring blade is the gray, light gray one. Okay, and I think they're in the picture pretty good. All right, so what I'm going to show you is when you cut paper and you want to emboss as well. So our project tonight takes an embossed piece. So I'm going to use this as an opportunity to get some pieces cut for my card as well. So this is a 3x4 piece of very vanilla cardstock. I already cut it. It's great. That's the size I need. And I'm going to emboss it. Let me get the embossing folder out that we're going to use. This is in the Basics 3D pack. It's a pack of 3 embossing folders, and it is an online exclusive. So that is very nice. I love, this is one of my favorite. I don't know if you can see it. They're like little hatches, I don't know, pattern. So I'm going to emboss the piece that's cut perfect to size. And then I have one that's bigger, and I'm going to emboss that. And then I'm going to show you when you cut it what happens. So bear with me. These will not fit in my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, so I have to use the big one. So it's right over there. So I'm just going to do that. Bear with me. Say hi when you hop on and where you're from. I would love to hear that. So I'm going to emboss both of these pieces. Get the sandwich right. Oh, I'm shaking you. I'm sorry. Bear with me. Shut your eyes. It's going to be a rough ride there for a minute. And then I'm going to emboss the big piece. We're going to shake again. Hang on. Shut your eyes. Okay. So this is the piece cut to size. And see how the edges are very crisp, very nice. Now this one, if I embossed it first and then cut it, I want to show you what happens. Now I'm going to point you really close to my work surface if I can get it there. Because I want you to be able to see. Yep, there we go. So I want this cut at 3. And again, I'm going to cut at the top, and then I'm going to pull toward me. And of course, it did not do it because I have a sharp blade. And then I want to cut it at 4. Typically, now I'm going to put the blade up, and then I'm going to pull toward me. Typically, and that one did it a little bit. Let me grab a dark piece of paper. Can you see the little rough edge? It's a little rough, and there's little like fuzzy pieces. So that's what happens when you cut after you emboss. Now you can go back in and you can take your snips and you can, you know, cut all those off if you want and just give it a little trim. I would not throw away the piece of paper. But you can just give it a little close trim like that. So when you have an embossed piece and you're going to cut it, you want to cut first, then emboss. Cut first, then emboss. Now another thing I want to show you, I want a scrap piece of paper. And I know I have a lot of that. Okay. So if you're going to cut on a point to point, you get both points in the track. Yep, I'm waiting to make sure I got this lined up. You don't want to start at the end because it could bend your corner. So see how it bent that corner? You don't want to do that. So you think, well, Arlena, if I'm cutting both from corner to corner, how am I going to cut that without starting at a corner? Well, let me show you. You want to move your blade up, like in the middle of your paper, put it down, push it down, and then go back and then go forward. And then it will have crisp points at both ends. Okay? So there's some tricks. There's 3 tricks I showed you on using your paper trimmer again. All right, I'm going to set those aside. I'm going to show you now, and I thought, oh, this is a teaching moment. So before I started, I realized I had all of my tape, my Stampin' Seal, it was done. I've used it all. There's no more left in it, and you can tell because you can see the red end. So the way you replace it is you take the cap off. You will always want to save that cap because it protects the stickiness there. So you don't want to lose that. And then there's like a texture here, and you just want to put your thumbs up, one on each side of it, and just pull it open. And then you take this out and throw it away. And then you have a refill. And make sure that if it's a Stamp and Seal, that you get a Stamp and Seal refill. There is a Stamp and Seal Plus as well. And it's a darker blue. This is a lighter blue top. And the Stamp and Seal Plus has a plus sign after it. And it's a darker blue. And you just put it in, there's 2 holes here for these 2 raised pieces in the case. Just slide it on there, put the cap back on, snap it together, and there you go. You're ready to go. You're in business. So that you can use them over and over and over again. I have replaced a couple because they get pretty beat up, you know, with my classes and stuff. I do have one class where I supply the adhesive because there is no charge to the people that attend. There is someone else that is covering the charge for all of the supplies. So those get pretty beat up. So those are the ones that I've had to replace. Otherwise, typically at my classes, you're responsible to bring your own toolkit, your basic toolkit, which does include adhesive. All right, I am going to show you. Are you ready? I am going to show you how to make this beautiful card. And it opens this way and it opens this way. So don't panic. Don't panic. It is really a simple card. So we are going to be able to do this. And I'm going to take you through it step by step. All right. So I bring my paper trimmer over. The first thing I want to do is I want to cut this in half, and this is 8.5 by 11. So I'm going to cut on the short side, so which means the short side is up against. I'm going to pull you back out so you can see a little bit more of my card. Okay, so then you want the short side against your edge here, and it's still not in. So let me show it. Yep, there we go. This edge here, this is where I want it. So half of 8.5, there we go. Half of 8.5 is 4 1/4. So I'm going to look at my ruler here, and I'm going to find the 4, and then I'm going to go 1 large mark over. So remember, this paper trimmer does cut to 1/16 of an inch. So you want to make sure that you cut 1, 2, 3, 4 lines past the 4 is the 1/4 mark. And then obviously it lines up down here as well. Close it, and I'm going to cut. Okay, I'm going to set my extra piece aside, and now I'm going to turn it, and I've got the long side against the edge. And half of 11, does everybody know what half of 11 is? It's 5.5. So I'm going to mark it at the 5.5 mark, so it's just like a ruler. So it's 5, and then the long mark after that, which is halfway between 5 and 6. Then I'm going to close it. Now I want to make sure that I do not cut, but I do score, because I'm going to score my card in half, so then I can fold it in half. See how that works? But this card, I want half of this cut off. You're like, oh, Arlena, whoa. How do you know what half of 5.5 is? Well, you do the math. Half of 5 is 2.5, and half of a half is 1/4. So 2.5 plus 1/4 is 2 3/4. So I go 2, and I go to the 3/4 mark. And then I'm going to cut this. Yes, I have a card that looks like that, and actually it's going to look like that. Okay, Now I want to take my bone folder and I want to give it a good burnish. So it stays closed. Now a bone folder is, it used to be made out of ivory, but you know, those days are gone, which I'm very happy about. So this is just plastic, and you're able to give things a burnish. You've seen me take linen thread, and although this is a small piece, linen thread is, well, here's one. Right here, look at that. I have linen thread right on my desk. Who would have thunk? So I have this, and when it comes off the bolt, and I have a mess here. Woo! See how curly it is? You can take your bone folder and put it across the edge and put your thumb on it and just pull, add some pressure and pull, and it straightens it right out. So it's easier to tie bows with. And I'm got a mess. I will clean this little linen thread up later. Okay. Now I want to take a piece of DSP. DSP stands for Designer Series Paper. This is the All About Autumn pack, and it is beautiful. It has gone unorderable, I think, 3 times so far, and it just came out in September, and but they keep bringing it back, so that's good. And I'm looking for this piece here, okay? That goes really well, I think, with the copper clay. This is copper clay cardstock. And then I already have another piece that I'm going to use as an accent piece there. And I need a piece of early espresso. So I'm going to cut my early espresso 8.5 by 4 1/4. So this is 8.5 by nope, it's not 8. It's not. That's not the correct. Hold that thought. It is 3 1/4, not 4 1/4. 3 1/4 by 8.5. 3 1/4 by 8.5. So I want 3 1/4. So I want to go to the 3 and go 1, 2, 3, 4 lines past that, and I'm going to cut. Then I want to score it in half. Remember, it's 8.5. Half of 8.5 is 4 1/4. So I go to the 4 1/4 line, close it, take my gray blade, that's my scoring blade, and score it. And I think I need one more piece of very vanilla, 3 by 4. All right, we got our pieces now. We're cooking with gas. Woohoo! All right. This piece, I want it to just lay inside here, and I want a border around it. So I want it, because this is 4 1/4, I want this piece to be 4, so it lines up like so. And then this is 5 1/2, so I want it to be 5 1/4. So I'm going to cut my 4-inch cut first, and then my 5 1/4. And then you'll see how this fits right in there. And this is a view of looking at the trees looking down from top. So there's really not a wrong way to view this picture, but there is a way that you might like it one way more than another. So you decide that. Then I'm just putting adhesive on the back, and then I'm going to center it top to bottom, left to right as best as I can. And then it's like so, okay? Now I need this piece to fit in here. So it's already cut the right length here, which is 4. And I need this to be, remember what this is? This is 2 3/4. So I want it to be 2 1/2 for the accent piece. And then that fits just like so. And actually we can glue that down now as well. Okay. Then we're going to take this early espresso piece. I've already scored it in the middle, so we're going to fold it in half, use our bone folder, and get a good burnish on that. Then we're going to take one of those pieces that we embossed with the basic 3D embossing folder, and I'm going to put that down on it. And then I just want a plain one for the inside, okay? And again, you want to center it top to bottom, left to right. There we go. And then I'm going to put adhesive on the back of this. And then I want it centered on here. Again, top to bottom, left to right, as best you can. Push it down, and then you've got that. So now all we have to do is decorate the front. See how easy that was? I told you it was easy, you guys. And it is so fun. So now I want to take my Autumn Leaves dies. They are gorgeous. And I actually want these 2 maple leaves, this maple leaf, and the veins. Those are the ones I want, okay? I'm going to take my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and these usually come in white. This is Boho Blue. It was to kick off the new in colors. Boho Blue is one of the new in colors this year. And I believe it's still available if you want to get your hands on it. And yes, you can add it as part of your starter kit if that's what you would like as part of your starter kit. They also launched today new online exclusives that are just available to demonstrators for pre-order. But if you were to purchase the starter kit, you could order any of those items as well as part of your starter kit. So you get a jump on that. That's another perk of doing the starter kit, is you get first dibs on all the new stuff that comes out. And if you've noticed, it goes, some of the stuff goes really quick. So all right, let me go back up here. So the base plate is number 1. So we want that on there. Then we have the acrylic plate number 2. So we're going to stack that. Then we're going to take this distressed gold paper and the die for the maple leaf. Then I'm going to take the acrylic plate number 2 again, another one, and I'm going to just butt it up till it stops, and then I'm just going to crank it through, okay? And it goes through pretty easy. It's not difficult to crank through at all. Go all the way through. And then you have this beautiful maple leaf. And then I want, this is pecan pie. Making myself hungry here. And I want to cut the veins for it. And I usually try to conserve on paper if I can. If I can't, it's okay. It's just paper, right? And then again, I'm going to crank it through the other way. Yep, it's manual and it goes both ways. So that's good. All right. Then we just peel that one off, and those are the veins. And then we want 2 little copper clay maple leaves. And I'm just gonna line those up there. These are kind of tricky. And you don't want to overlap your dies if you can help it, because you will, you could cut into them, and that's not good. They'll still work, but they'll just have a crease in them, and that doesn't look pretty. And then again, you just crank it through. And then you have the 2 dies. And yes, so the paper stuck in the dies. Let me show you what you do. So I'm taking my plates. I do keep everything right here at my fingertips. I'm going to close this up. It's very portable, very light, very easy to handle. Then I'm going to take my pick tool, and I'm going to turn this over, and you see how there's holes in the dies? Some people call them peek holes. If you just press on it, it does release that image, and then you have it. And then you just peel it off, and then you have those. Nice, huh? Another use for your take your pick tool. All right, so before I lose these dies, I am going to put them back in here. I had 4, I'm putting 4 back in. Yay. And I do always put them in the case and close them up. All right, so now I want to put these veins on this leaf. See how that's gonna look? So I'm gonna use my green glue, and some people love it, some people hate it. So let me tell you why I like it. I like it because it gives you a second to reposition your work. It is very strong, and it's easy to use. It's also easy to get way too much glue on these little veins. So you want to have just a light touch. Now I store my glue upside down, so all the glue that's left in this bottle is at the tip here. So I just want to ever so slightly just rub it on the vein. I'm hardly putting any pressure on this, you guys. Gravity is doing a lot of the work. If you use too much green glue, just like with any glue, it will buckle your paper, and you don't want that. So then I'm just going to lay that down. I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to take the edge of the vein, flip it over, line it up here, and just tap, 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 and let it dry for a minute. I'm just setting it aside, okay? Then I'm going to take these 2 maple leaves and I'm going to pop those up with dimensionals. Just 1 each. And there is a back side and a front side, so you want to make sure you have the right side that you're putting the dimensional on. I also need, oh, I forgot to cut my label while I had my dies out in my machine. So the beauty of it is it's really easy. It's right at my fingertips. It's quick. This set of dies has 2 labels. One's more square and one's more rectangular. So the sentiment that I'm using is more rectangular. So I'm going to use the rectangle one. And I want it, my label out of Very Vanilla. So I'm going to bring my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine in again. I'm going to take my plates, and again, it's plate number 1, plate number 2, my piece of cardstock, my label, or my die, put my plate, my other plate number 2 on there, push it in until it moves the handle, and crank it through. And again, it's pretty easy, goes through kind of like butter. And then I'm going to put these away. Again, right in front of me. I do like my things close and handy. And then I'm just going to pop this out, and there's my label. Very cute label. It has some stitching around it and some accent corners. And I already have my sentiment on there. I am using the Autumn Leaves stamp set with it, which is a bundle, so it's the dies and the stamp set. And I'm going to say, I'm thankful for all you do. Yes, I'm thankful for all you do. And I'm going to use the, not Cajun Craze. Although Cajun Craze is very similar to Copper Clay, I want to use Copper Clay to match the paper even more. So I'm going to take the I'm Thankful, and again, you just tap, tap, tap. You don't push in. Do not push your stamp in to the ink, because then you'll have ink all around the edge and probably on your block too. And then you'll have a mess on your label if you go to stamp that. So just tap, 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 kiss, 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 very lightly. I'm going to stamp this toward the top of the label because I'm going to put For All You Do underneath it. So tap, tap, tap again. Kiss, 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 very lightly. And, oop. So I gotta bring it close to me so I can see it. There we go. Close this up because we don't want to put our project in it or our hands. Then I'm going to take my chamois. Again, it's right at fingertip hand reach. None of my supplies are very far away at all. And then clean these up. All this chamois is damp with regular water, tap water. And I keep it in an old stamp case, and that's good. And every once in a while, I have to re-moisten it, rinse it out, because there is ink in it, so you do want to clean that out. See, I punched out extra leaves for a project, and I didn't want to throw them away, so I just kept them. Aren't they pretty? Okay. For All You Do goes there. And I'm Thankful goes here. And then I can close that up. Okay, put the blocks away. Bring my card back in. And then this has had time to dry. So I am going to adhere it with the glue. Hello, Robin. How are you, sweetheart? I hope you're doing good. When are you heading to Arkansas? I forgot. This month, right? I think. And then again, light touch. I'm putting just a little bit on that stem. Okay? So you want to make sure you have a very light touch. Then I'm putting that right down on the embossed piece, okay? Then I'm going to take the backing off this dimensional. First, I want to close up my glue, put it back in its case. Then I'll take off the dimensional, and I'm going to position this, I think here. And then again, Saturday. Oh my gosh, that's right around the corner. Are you ready to go back? Are you all packed? That is incredible. Wow, has that time flown by. And then for my label, I only want a dimensional in the middle. And let me tell you why. Because I'm going to put glue on both ends. So when I put it down, the dimensional will raise it here, but not on the end. So it won't be like that on my card, okay? So I'm going to take that backing off. And these things, you will find them all over your house. I actually have them in my camper as well, because when we go camping, I take my stamp stuff with me. And so we have them in the camper too. Really nice. All right. And then I'm just going to put this down here so I can see the maple leaf, the gold one, and the two copper clay, and I can also see the stem. So I'm just touching that a little bit so that glue, the ends that have glue on them, are touching those copper clay leaves. All right, then it just needs a little something, something, doesn't it? So I am going to use the In Color dots, specifically the clay ones, and I'm actually going to use my snips. So you can take your snips and open them up so it makes like a V, and then you just slide under it. There we go. Well, maybe. There we go. There we go. And I want one there. And I think I'm going to put a medium, there's 3 different sizes, so I'm going to take the medium one and put it on the label down. Oop. Just pick it up and flip it over. There. And then I want the small one to accent right here. Look at that, folks. I'm thankful for all you do. Now, doesn't this card look a lot more difficult than what it really is? Robin, if you missed the dimensions in that, you might want to get back on. This is such a cute card. Such a cute card. So, again, it opens this way and then this way. Nice. All right. I am going to point you back to me. Hello. Yes, you will love it. And you can adapt it for any occasion. You could do a birthday card with this. You could do your Christmas cards with this. Oh boy, that would be beautiful. And yeah, Halloween cards if you do Halloween. Oh my gosh, that would be cute. You could have one that you know had like a witch or a ghost or something on it, and then when you open it up, it could say boo. Oh, wouldn't that be cute? Oh, the things that it's just endless, endless, endless. All right, so I hope you had fun and you enjoyed this the little tutorial on more cutting with your Stampin' Up! Paper trimmer and what you learned about your bone folder. And you'll take your pick tool that you can use the point end and poke out pieces from your dies. So there was a lot of good information tonight. So I'm glad you were here, and I'll be back again next week. And I will also be here Thursday night for my Facebook Live that I do weekly. I've been doing that for a couple of years now. Can you believe that? When I saw it, when I went back and looked at it, it's been 2 years, and I'm like, wow, I didn't realize I had been doing it for that long. So now I am going downstairs, and I am going to make dinner for my family, and we're going to celebrate my daughter who's from Kentucky. She leaves tomorrow to go home. I'm going to miss her, but you know what? I'll see her again. I already have a date with her in November, so that will be good, and it will be after my Israel trip, so we'll be able to have lots to talk about. You guys have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the weather while it lasts. Talk to you later. Thank you for supporting me, and I love you. Bye-bye.